M&M is the other one which is in focus. We've seen a fair amount of growth from the new launches. They're set to regain the lost market share in the UV space. That is what analysts seem to be betting on when it comes to M&M. So let's try and understand what really is going on with the rural upcycle, whether it's going to continue, what are their plans to solidify the farm equipment segment. And let's welcome on board Mr. V.S. Parthasarathy, Group CFO and Group CIO at Mahindra & Mahindra. Mr. Parthasarathy, morning. Thanks so much for taking the time out and joining in. Just going by your sales numbers have been very strong, not just in the farm segment, but autos as well. And this without any new launches this quarter. And despite a market share loss in UVs, what would you say were the factors responsible still?
Basically there has been, rural has been strong and growing, and the market potential is reflected into the numbers, both in tractor and auto, and both segments have grown for us. So these are the two causes that I can tell you is the reason why our month and the quarter growth has been good.
Okay, so what are the timelines for new auto launches, and are you confident that they'll be able to help you regain your lost market share?
There are two parts to your question. First is on terms of product launches. I think there are three, you are referring to auto is what I understand. So auto, there are three launches which are planned, and you are aware of those launches, and this will happen in the next 2 quarters. Okay, some of them may happen before this festive season starts and some after. So this is broadly what it is, and I am more as a CFO would be answering a broader level of questions, and I don't want what Rajan or Rajesh, our two auto and farm equipment president, answer. I would let them talk about it, and I would be talking more from a financial and broader viewpoint. Yeah.
Sure, but as the CFO, you broadly, do you see incremental gain in the lost market share? Because I think that's where the concern lies.
I think that's why I did not want to get into that, but now I will just make one point and then we can move to the next subject.
Sure.
There is UV1 and UV2, and we have always said that in the traditional UV segment we continue to be strong. If you look at our product ranges, Bolero after more than 2 decades is still a very strong and reached a new milestone of 1 million sales. Our Scorpio 10 still tends to be a blockbuster, and so is XUV which we brought in. So we got what we call as 3 evergreen products, so we are very strong in it. In the newly created UV segment, we launched our first products called KUV. You will see another products, and we will make good progress in that. So the number of losing market share, I would like to put it that we are maintained and growing in one segment, and we are entering and growing in the other segment.
Right. You recently held an analyst meet to outline plans to solidify your presence in FES. What are some of the key strategies and initiatives that you have taken up to ensure sustained growth, and what are the milestones that you're targeting in that segment?
Thank you. First and foremost is with analysts, we have kind of thought that we will give them a deep dive into our various facets. First we did an MRV day with this Mahindra Research Valley at Chennai. That was to give them a more detailed perspective into auto and our product development. And next we did is the FES day in Nagpur, which is what you are referring to. So some of the big things that we talked to the analyst on that day is that we are moving from being a major India player in farm equipment to being a global farm equipment player. The second big theme we give that we are focused on farm tech prosperity for our farmers on one hand, and focused on our stakeholder and shareholder prosperity on the other side. So how we are making both come through, it is not either or, but it is both. We are also talking about how we are growing in domestic, both revenue, profitable and revenue growth in the domestic or national market, and how we are going to be profitable and even faster growing in our international setup. Okay. We also talked about how we are serving the global medium and small farmers up to 50 hectares down with product, services and solution. And we showcased some of our technological new products like the autonomous tractor, or how we can do field productivity enhancements through various technology interventions like drone, precision farming and things like that. So this is broadly what we covered in the FES day with the farmer. But basically what we said is, we can grow fast in India, we can grow faster and profitably globally, and therefore both farmer and shareholder we can delight.
Now that's exactly what we want to talk about. There is a strong trust on going global in the agri market. How big is the market in terms of an opportunity? And how do you plan to scale overseas revenue from 37% to 50%? And how soon do you think that could happen?
Okay. Thank you for that question, because it's an important way to look at what are the big things that we will do. I mean, we want, aspiration is one thing. First is our global footprint. What we have now, which we already established, is a company called Mahindra Mitsubishi Agriculture Machinery in Japan. This is fairly sized and will cater to Japan, for Japan, and from Japan the global market in certain areas where they are very, very good. Then we have acquired one in Sampo, which is in Finland, which is all about equipments, yeah, self-propelled harvesters and agri machinery. Then we have similarly agri machinery in Turkey called Hisarlar, which is another company that we now have in our fold. And we also have a tractor company in Turkey called as Erkunt. Add to this what we in Mahindra USA, as we call it, Musa, which is the US operations, which is about 600 million already in turnover and looking to be $1 billion in the medium term, and new operations set up in Mexico and Brazil, and a possible entry in China. So all of this put together, because our base is low right now and we are starting from almost a small base to be able to grow, and all of these therefore will be able to grow at a much faster pace, and that will give us the say 50% revenue. But I always, as a CFO, has a refrain that India is a great growth market with great potential. We will grow as fast as we can in the global market, where even after this growth we will be a very small percentage of the overall global revenue pool available, and therefore this will be something which will available. But India is also growing fast. So I always say that we can be 50 if India grows at 10 and they grow at 20, but what if India grows at 20? So, and that is very well possible. So we are looking to be very fast growing in global and fast growing, and India always surprises us positively.
Now you already have 43% domestic market share. What will be the triggers to take it to 50? Where would you be focusing on this kind of an expansion?
Yeah, so I think there is in the domestic market, when you talk about market share, I think in almost like a share of liquids going in, as what was redefining the market share, we must decide that how much of the farm equipment prosperity drive that a farmer have we can participate. And I think with implements, attachments, etc., we are looking to be a big player in that. Okay. Having said that, we also in the tractor itself we have two tractor brands, Swaraj and Mahindra, and they themselves both at a individual level and together they are able to already get some momentum going. I don't want to put any targets, but they will organically grow. And there is a third tractor brand called Traxor which is there, which should also grow. So this is broadly what we conveyed to the analyst as well. Don't put targets, but the growth of ours can be in line with the 10% growth in the medium term, which Mr. Rajesh Jajurikar, President of Farm Equipment Sector, has already communicated. and we can grow faster than that, and this is only tractors. We can grow much faster in equipment, attachments and providing solutions to farmer. So overall there is growth potential which is immense.
So you're saying you do expect rural demand upcycle to extend further now with MSP hike also coming into play, is it?
Yeah, so I mean, you know, if you ask the same question say about 3 or 4 quarters back, I would have said that the rural demand we are seeing green shoots. Okay, tractor was still growing, but if you looked at auto, farm equipment or even consumer fast moving goods, we were not seeing that kind of uptick. But I can now very clearly say it's no more green shoots, but it is entrenched rural demand, and that has also helped by a lot of big projects which are happening in the rural, around the rural side, whether it is infrastructure, road, rail and many other projects which the government is doing. So I think the demand is very firm in terms of rural demand, and rural growth story is very firmly entrenched. And what can further improve is that, you know, MSP and things like that will add further allure and profitability to the dimension, which only should make it even better.
Mr. Parthasarathy, thanks very much for taking out the time to speak with us this morning. We really appreciate you sharing with us your business plans. Really appreciate your time.